I took this test online to find out if I'm a socialist. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on 8values.github.io. So, many of us know that the political compass is absolute bull. It's nonsense. It's not accurate, and most times political compass tests are really biased. Most of the questions are like, do you agree with this heavily biased subject that I agree with or not? And it's never like, yeah, sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't agree. There's no neutral answer. It's either like, are you an asshole or not an asshole? And if you actually pick the one that you want, it's like, oh, so you're an asshole. You're not a liberal like me. See, that's a big problem with the political compass test. It's so biased, it's so obvious. So here we are on 8 values. Now, some people have accused me of being a leftist, of being a socialist. Oh, filthy, filthy, filthy socialist. And I want to prove today that I'm not a socialist at all. We're going to take the 8 values test, and this is probably the real political compass. So, what is 8 values? We're going to go over this, and then we'll take the test. 8 values is, in essence, a political quiz that attempts to assign percentages for 8 different political values. You will be presented by a statement, and then you will answer with your opinion on the statement from strongly agree to strongly disagree, with each answer slightly affecting your scores. At the end of the quiz, your answers will be compared to the maximum possible for each value, thus giving you a percentage. Answer honestly. So we have equality, nation, liberty, tradition, markets, world, authority, and progress. This will give us a rating for each of these sections, how much we agree with this, and then it will attempt to give us the closest match to our preferred ideology and matched ideology. So here we go. This will tell us what we are. 8 values. Let's go. So here we go. 8 values. Question 1. Oppression by corporations is more of a concern than oppression by governments. I'm going to disagree for this one. It's a tough sell because on one hand, corporations certainly get away with too much, but I wouldn't say one is more important. I'm just saying that logically, the corporation is easier to handle than the government most times. Of course it depends, but I'll just put disagree. It is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. I'm going to say disagree. This is a hard one, because on one hand, the government should protect your economy, let's say from foreigners, but on the other hand, I also don't believe in bailouts. So I'm going to put neutral. The freer the markets, the freer the people. I'm going to strongly agree with this. It's not a free society unless you can buy recreational McNukes and housemaids for sale. It is better to maintain a balanced budget than ensure welfare for all citizens. Absolutely agree. Okay. You know what gets me so much? In even a dumb video game, okay. In a video game, if you ever hit the red in your money, if you ever hit red in debt, it's basically game over. But in real life, we have endless amounts of debt that can never be paid back, infinitely growing. And people will tell you, oh, it's not a big deal, it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine when it all comes crashing down. It's unsustainable. Balanced budget is more important than anything else, period. Because without that, say goodbye to your economy. Publicly funded research is more beneficial to the people than leaving it to the market. I'm gonna disagree here. Well, I'm neutral because I would like to see more publicly funded research, but at the same time, the market does good work. I'm in the middle. International trade is beneficial. I'm gonna disagree here. In my view, it does more harm than good, and usually to your own people. From each according to his ability to each according to his needs. This is a communist statement. Strongly disagree. I agree with the first. To each, from each according to his ability. But I do not agree with the latter, okay? People who do nothing need food, they need shelter. But do they deserve it? No. It would be best if social programs were abolished in favor of private charity. I'm going to strongly agree, just for the fact that social welfare is bull. It's unsustainable, it never works. How dare you? I want my neat bucks. Give me my chicken tendies, mommy. Ree! So I'm going to strongly agree. Taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor. Strongly disagree. The poor should just buy more money. Inheritance is a legitimate form of wealth. Now, generational wealth is a big problem. It's what keeps the rich people rich. It's basically oligarchy in its modern form. I mean, let's say you come from a rich family, and they own all the houses in the neighborhood, and there's no houses for anyone else. And because they own all the houses, they just hoard everything. What does everyone else do? there's no more houses to get, and they're probably too highly priced because they control the market. So I'm going to disagree. I don't think it's a legitimate form of wealth. It's a literal form of wealth, but it creates so many problems. At the same time, I wouldn't want to leave nothing for my kids, so I'm going to put neutral. Public utilities like roads and electricity should be publicly owned. Where we're going, there are no roads. I'm going to say strongly agree, just because I feel like we need infrastructure. And if we're going to pay all this money in taxes, it may as well actually go to the goddamn roads and the power. Excessive government intervention is a threat to the economy, absolutely. Central planning tends to not work simply because we don't have people smart enough or AI smart enough to centrally plan anything. I'm not saying it might be possible in the future, but right now it's not possible, so I will agree. Those with a greater ability to pay should receive better healthcare. Strongly agree. Quality education is a right of all people. I'm going to put agree. I feel like everyone should get a good education, but I also believe that it should be a lot cheaper, and I would abolish the entire education system and replace it with something that actually maximizes individual potential over memorizing bullcrap nobody cares about and everyone forgets. The means of production should belong to the workers who use them. No. The United Nations should be abolished. Strongly agree. Yeah, screw those boomers. Always trying to tell us what to do. Screw the Geneva Convention. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. Absolutely. If you mess with us, I think Pearl Harbor proved that you don't mess with the best. I support regional unions, such as the European Union. Strongly disagree. Go home, you pansies. You don't even have an army. And even if you did, screw you pansies. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. Strongly agree. Of course. A united world government would be beneficial to mankind. This is going to be controversial, and I'm sure people will be upset, but I actually strongly agree with this. You see, democracy is a lie. When you have democracy, when you have a bunch of small countries, war will never end because of self-interest. Each country has its own interest and thus will always go to war in the long run. The only way to end war is to unite the world. And really, only one nation should rule mankind. And that's when we get to the stars. That's when humanity fights against the aliens. So I strongly agree. It is more important to retain peaceful relations than to further our strength. I strongly disagree. Other people can get wrecked. Screw you, Zimbabwe. Wars do not need to be justified to other countries. The wording's a little strange, but I think they're saying war doesn't need to be justified when you go against other countries. Strongly agree. Military spending is a waste of money. You're a dumbass if you think that military spending's a waste. Without military spending, say goodbye to your country, say goodbye to your trade routes, say goodbye to safety. Strongly disagree. International aid is a waste of money. Oh boy. Yes, it is a waste of money. Absolutely. If I was president, if I was leader, I would absolutely cancel all aid money everywhere. And yes, that includes a certain little illegitimate state. Yep, it's the state of that one place with those one people on that one area. Strongly agree. My nation is great. Agree. It could use some improvement. Research should be conducted on an international scale. Now, this one I actually agree with. I think if we have all of our scientists working together and we share the knowledge, it's actually going to have more benefits than losses. Scientific research takes a priority. Always. Agree. Government should be accountable to the international community. Strongly disagree. Get wrecked. Even when protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable. Well, my religious values should be spread as much as possible. Well, I don't have a religion, so I'm going to strongly disagree. Simply because there's nothing to spread. Well, actually, no, I have philosophies that I want to spread, so I'll disagree instead. It's not the same thing, but still. Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible. I'm going to agree. There's a lot of room for improvement. Transcendentalism, more freedom in our society. Fewer laws, but stronger laws for those that do exist. There's a lot of improvements that need to be made, so I'm going to go agree. It is very important to maintain law and order. Agree. The general populace makes poor decisions. Look at the world around you. Endless consumption. Consumerism. People who buy Apple products. You're telling me that someone who goes to the Apple store and buys a new iPhone every single year should be allowed to vote? Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. Strongly agree. Victimless crimes, such as drug use, should not be crimes at all. Strongly agree. It is not the government's job to tell us what you can do with your body. Now, there's people who tell me, like, oh my God, how can you say that? But you say that certain people, like people with severe genetic disabilities, shouldn't reproduce. How can you say that? Because it's not contradictory at all. People should be free to harm themselves. I believe that's a right. What they shouldn't be free to do is harm the next generation. You see here, that is my style. I believe in a combination of libertarian values and authoritarian values. Freedom for the individual, of course. But we also need to protect the collective. And the next generation, you do not have a right to harm the next generation. I believe this is balanced, and I believe this is fair. So strongly agree. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism. Nope, never, never. Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world. Nope, 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 no. Strongly disagree. The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty. Disagree. Regardless of political opinions, it is important to side with your country. This one depends, but I'm gonna put agree. Because I live in America, and we're not perfect, but I'm probably gonna side with America. It has potential. All authority should be questioned. Some authority, but this one says all authority. So I'm going to say disagree because some authority is correct. And all authority is not wrong, so disagree. A hierarchical state is best. I'm going to agree. You need hierarchy. Humans cannot function without hierarchy. And some people don't want to be leaders. So yes, some people, they don't want to lead. They don't want to be higher in the hierarchy. Some people are happy to be at whatever level. So yeah, we're always going to need hierarchy. It is important that the government follows the majority opinion, even if it is wrong. So here's a quote for you guys from a Chinese cartoon. It goes a little like this, probably from something else, but whatever. Bear with me here. A benevolent dictator is often more beneficial to humanity than the ignorance of the masses. And I fully resonate with that statement. Look around you. Look at the idiocracy. Look at the morons out there. There's a reason we don't have a true democracy. Even the founders of America knew that the majority rule is nonsense because a lot of people are dumb. So strongly disagree. The stronger the leadership, the better. Strongly agree. Leaders should be strong, not little pansies. That is why Trump's a good leader and why Obama was a pussy. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. Democracy sucks. Strongly disagree. Environmental regulations are essential. I'm gonna disagree. They're not essential because we should reach a point where humans live in synergy with nature through high technology. But we'll never get there if we go all hippy-dippy. A better world will come from automation, science, and technology. Strongly agree, although automation will screw a lot of people over. Children should be educated in religious or traditional values. Religious values, no. Traditional values, yes. A lot of tradition is what works, and I advocate for what works, but because this question includes religion, I have to put neutral. Traditions are of no value on their own. I disagree. Religion should play a role in government. I disagree, although I would advocate for a state philosophy for all people, such as transcendence and elevating your fellow man. Those are good philosophies. I would like that to be taught in school, but no, not religion. Disagree. Churches should be taxed the same way other institutions are taxed. Agree. It's a for-profit business. There's no reason it shouldn't be taxed. Climate change is currently one of the greatest threats to our way of life. Imagine actually believing that. Oh, maybe if you're a city slicker who lives on the coast, you might end up drowning. I don't give a shit. Strongly disagree. It is important that we work as a united world to combat climate change. It's so naive. Oh, we're gonna save the world. Good luck. The world does what it wants. Climate change is inevitable. And if global cooling happens, and it could, then literally it will not matter at all because it's gonna get a lot colder actually. So, disagree. Society was better many years ago than it is now. I agree. It was better. It was a lot better. America peaked in the 60s. It was a better time. It is important that we maintain the traditions of our past Well, I think tradition is important. I don't think that, well, I'm going to put neutral. This is a tough one. It is important that we think in the long term beyond our lifespan. Strongly agree. Most of the problems with the world are caused by short-term thinking. You mean I can't just smoke crack and do hookers every day? Reason is more important than maintaining our culture. I agree, but that's a little bit of a shady question. Drug use should be legalized or decriminalized. Strongly agree. Same-sex marriage should be legal. Well, we gave them rights. We gave them the right of same-sex marriage, and judging by the current state of degeneracy in society, they've abused it, and they've caused a lot of trouble, and they've been harassing a lot of people. So, when a child abuses a privilege, you take it away. So I'm going to disagree here. No cultures are superior to others. Yeah, strongly disagree. Okay. What do you mean, Mr. Obvious? Obviously, those tribal men who live in the jungle with rocks and pointy sticks have cultures just respectable as our own. Strongly disagree. Sex outside marriage is immoral. I'm going to agree, but isn't everything fun in life immoral? If we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. Strongly agree. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the last time I checked, Europe isn't exactly in the best condition. Welcome to London. My culture is explosions. Part and parcel of living in the big city. Abortion should be prohibited in most or all cases. In most cases, I want to agree, but I can't, so I'm going to disagree slightly. Gun ownership should be prohibited for those without a valid reason. Strongly disagree. It is a right. It cannot be infringed. I support single-payer universal healthcare. No. Prostitution should be illegal. Disagree. Maintaining family values is essential. Strongly agree. To chase progress at all costs is dangerous. Strongly agree. Look at the regressive left. Genetic modification is a force for good, even on humans. Damn right. Human beings need to transcend. We need to evolve, especially now that we've lost natural selection. Humans are growing dumber, weaker, more diseased, more pathetic. We need transhumanism. Strongly agree. We should open our borders to immigration. How about no? Governments should be as concerned about foreigners as they are about their own citizens. Strongly disagree. Get wrecked. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sexuality, should be treated equally. Nobody should be treated equally because people are not equal. I'm going to strongly disagree because people should get what they deserve, and not all people deserve to be treated equally. It is important that we further my group's goals above all others. Yes. So here we go. These are my 8 value results. Let's look. So here it says, economic access market, 72% market. As you can see, I am for economic rights. I'm for a free market. I am not really for equality, because that's dumb. Here's my diplomatic access, nationalist. 85%. My civil access is statist. I am 66% for authority over liberty. Now don't get me wrong, I support freedom. Now my societal access is neutral. I both value tradition and progress. I'm right in the middle. It's fair to say that I'm neutral, central on this issue. I believe a lot in progress. I believe a lot in tradition. So here's my closest match. Neoconservatism. Now, I really don't agree with this whole neocon label. I hate neocons. They're all cucks. There's not enough questions here there's not enough good questions on this test, but a conservative is not on the left. So I can settle for conservatism. You can call me a conservative. I don't care. Now, I do not like neocons. I do not like neoconservatives. But as you can see, this is not a socialist, obviously. And I'm a nationalist. I'm for free markets. I'm for authority. And I'm for both progress and tradition. I'm a libertarian authoritarian. I think it's a good balance. I'm not a filthy communist. So these are my results. As you can see, I'm not a socialist. At all. But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about the 8 values? Is it the true political compass? And what ideology did it match you? Be sure to let me know. As always, you can support the content that I make by joining me on Patreon or Subscribestar for as low as $1. Doing so will give you access to Fight Club, a private Discord server. There's also PayPal and Bitcoin options if you're interested. As always, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.